Hey guys, I'm Boris from Production Music Live, and I'd like to show you today our new updated version of the PML chord generator, which is a MIDI effect track, and it basically allows you to transform any simple MIDI information into complex chords with just a few clicks. So let's quickly check what it does. I'm going to play this simple chord progression, which is just 4 notes. And we will see what the chord generator does. First, let's disable it. And now let's play it with the chord generator. So as you can hear, our 4 notes got completely transformed into complex chords. Well, not too complex, because we're mostly playing simple shapes with a couple inversions and a 7th chord, but this is basically what our chord generator does. It works in C major and C minor. Obviously you can choose a different pitch with this pitch wheel. The information the chord generator needs to receive is all the white keys, and it allows you to play the C major scale this way. If you choose minor, it plays the minor scale. Now let's talk about how this can be used. This is obviously helpful for you if you are not familiar with playing the piano. So this allows you to just play the notes on your keyboard, and in this way you can create more complex progressions. This can be also fun for jamming and playing one shape, like in old school house music. But also you can, for example, take a bass progression and copy it onto a new MIDI track, add the chord generator, and in this way quickly create chords without having to draw triads and extensions in the MIDI editor. Okay, so let's maybe go through all of the knobs here, and I'm going to explain in detail what they do. All of our knobs are described in the info view, so in case you're lost at any time, you can just open it up and you should see an explanation. Okay, so the major minor switch transforms C major into C minor. For instance, when I press E and I choose a minor scale, it is going to play the E flat chord, because after switching to minor, all the steps you input on the white keys get automatically transformed into minor scale C minor chords, basically. Okay, so very simple switch, and the drop bass control allows you to add a bass note, basically a root note 1 octave below the chord. At 0 it's off, and at any other value it's on. So the double root control allows you to double the root above the root note. So in this case we are going to get an additional C over here. Okay, and the rootless version obviously skips the root note in the default position, so we're not anymore playing this C over here. That's all simple stuff. Now there's extension controls over here, these blue selectors. They allow you to add the 7th, 9th, 11th and 13th extensions, but there's a few differences. Now let me disable all of these. The 7th extension at 0 doesn't give you anything, and at any other value gives you the 7th extension. Same with the 9th. Now let's turn this off. Here we can choose between having no extension at 0 and having an 11th between 1 and 63. This is what you can read in the info view. So this way we're playing an 11th, and if we want to drop this 11th by an octave, we just need to go above 64. And the same logic follows for the 13th. The 13th, in my opinion, doesn't always sound good, it's just there in case you wanted to use it. Now there's two very simple controls, that's velocity and pitch. At 0, velocity is off completely, so it allows you to play with your own MIDI keyboard and add your own velocity, but at any other value, it basically has a stable value of velocity. All of the notes you're going to play are going to be at the same value. Let's leave it somewhere in here. Now the pitch control is pretty much what the MIDI effect pitch in Ableton does. It basically allows you to pitch the chord generator up or down, so you're not always stuck with the C major and minor scales. You can go a few steps above or down. Now the big change is the major modes. I'm going to add an article from our blog into the description so that you guys can see all of the different modes and what characteristics they have. But there's one very important distinction. This major modes control, as the name suggests, can be only used when the major minor switch is completely off. So basically when we are playing C major, but we have all of the modes other than the Locrian mode, and we can check, for example, the Lydian mode. Let's see how it differs from Ionian. So Lydian is at 63. So we have this very characteristic step over here. All of the other modes are available to use. All you need to do is change this wheel and it automatically is going to change the mode. Now let's go back to Ionian and mess around with the sus knob, as in this chord generator you can use sus2 and sus4 chords. At 0 it's off. Between 1 and 63 you're playing a sus2 chord. You're not playing the third, and instead you're playing the second step of the scale. That's without this knob. And now sus2 and sus4. These controls allow you to drop and invert the 7th and 9th extensions. Here, if we use the 7th, we can drop it by an octave. And the same with the 9th. But when you go above 64, it is actually going to bump this 7th an octave above. And the same with the 9th. So this basically allows you to form more complex inversions. Also, we have the 3rd and the 5th, which we can invert using these two knobs. Let's invert the 3rd first. So now it's playing one octave above. We can do the same with the 5th. Now, for example, we can play a rootless position, and we can double the root. And we have moved from this octave to this octave. In this way you can create inversions and add way more variety to your progressions. If you have any questions about using this chord generator, feel free to ask us in the comments. Now, I want to show you a good functionality of the generator. You are not at all stuck with what you come up here, even if you automate some parameters, because you can always record the MIDI information you create with the generator onto another MIDI track. All you need to do is choose the input as the track with the generator. So here you can see all of your notes. You can edit, for example, add a melody note and make the progression even more complex into something that's not achievable with our parameters in the chord generator. Let's quickly go through what this progression actually is. So at the beginning, I am playing a simple 7th chord. You can see that I am bumping the 3rd one octave above, and I am also raising the 7th by an octave. Now the 2nd chord is a very simple minor chord, doubling the root above the chord and playing the bass lowered by an octave. Here it's also the third is moved an octave above. We're not anymore playing the double root. And here we're also inverting the third and we're doubling the root. So this progression is really not that complicated, but you can get way more complex when you start adding the 9th, 11th, and maybe utilizing the modes, knob, and the sus control. Okay, let me know guys how you like this update. All of this is available in the link in the description. This is obviously a completely free download. If you'd like to learn more about making chords and melodies, I invite you to check out our courses. We have a course on melodies and on chord progressions, so make sure to check that out if you're interested. If you like this video, press the like button, hit the notification bell, and subscribe for more videos. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.